Hashtag the price of betrayal. Eisen Vance stood in the cold February night, clutching a bouquet of red roses, his heart racing with anticipation. Valentine's Day had always been their day, the one day when the chaos of corporate empires and endless meetings faded into something simpler, something real. But as he walked through the glowing city streets toward home, he noticed something that made his blood run cold. Giant digital billboards towering above him flickered to life, and there she was, Celeste, his wife, in the arms of another man. Her voice echoed through speakers mounted on every corner. "Leo, you're the only man I've ever truly loved." The roses fell from Eisen's hands, petals scattering across the wet pavement like drops of blood. He didn't remember driving to the luxury hotel. He only remembered the rage burning through his veins as he kicked open the door to the penthouse suite. There they were, Celeste and Leo, tangled in silk sheets, their faces frozen in shock. "Eisen, this isn't what it looks like," Celeste stammered, pulling the covers around herself. "We were just rehearsing a script." Leo nodded frantically, his famous smile nowhere to be found. But Eisen wasn't a fool. He'd built his reputation on seeing through lies, on understanding the ruthless game of power and control. Without a word, he pulled out his phone and made a single call. By morning, Leo's face would be erased from every billboard, every streaming platform, every magazine cover. The Vance Corporation owned the entertainment industry, and now it would bury him alive. Celeste tried to salvage her empire, but Eisen was already 10 steps ahead. He watched from his office as her company's stock plummeted, as investors pulled out one by one, as her carefully constructed kingdom began to crumble. But Celeste wasn't finished. She and Leo fought back with the only weapon they had left, public sympathy. They released a tearful video, painting Eisen as a monster, a manipulative abuser who controlled every aspect of Celeste's life. The world believed them. Overnight, Eisen became the villain. If you're feeling the weight of this story, don't forget to subscribe and visit our channel, where tales of love, betrayal, and redemption unfold every day, reminding us all what it truly means to be human. Eisen sat alone in his penthouse, watching the city lights flicker below. The loneliness was suffocating, but he refused to break. Instead, he made an alliance with Brooke Zorn, Celeste's fiercest rival, a woman who had her own reasons to see Celeste fall. Together, they uncovered something devastating: years of tax fraud, hidden accounts, and illegal dealings that Celeste had buried beneath layers of corporate deception. The evidence was irrefutable. Within days, Celeste's world collapsed entirely. Her company declared bankruptcy. Federal agents circled like vultures. Desperate and cornered, she showed up at Eisen's door one final time. Not with apologies, but with a knife pressed against his throat. "Unfreeze my accounts," she hissed, her eyes wild with fear and fury. "Or I swear I'll end you right here." Eisen stayed calm, his voice steady despite the blade biting into his skin. "Go ahead," he whispered. "But you'll lose everything anyway." He complied with her demands, transferring just enough to make her believe she'd won. But the security cameras had captured every second, her threats, her violence, her desperation laid bare for the world to see. The next morning, the video went viral. Public opinion shifted in an instant. The woman who'd played the victim was now exposed as something far darker. Eisen sat across from her in his lawyer's office, sliding the divorce papers across the polished mahogany table. "Sign," he said quietly. "Sign, and you avoid prison. Keep everything you stole from me, and I'll make sure you spend the next decade behind bars." Celeste's hands trembled as she signed away her name, her company, her dignity. When she looked up at him, tears streaming down her face, Eisen felt nothing. The man who'd once loved her with every fiber of his being was gone, replaced by someone colder, someone shaped by betrayal. As she walked out of his life forever, Eisen stood by the window, watching the city that had witnessed both their love and its destruction. He'd won, but victory tasted like ash, and the roses he'd carried that Valentine's night were still rotting somewhere in the rain.